though you have never met me. A Tale of Two Cities, Oliver Twist. You are about to see one of my creations that took a mere 6 weeks to write, and I did so while taking long nighttime walks around London. I am Charles Dickens. I was born in 1812 in England. My works stem from my life. I grew up in poverty. My parents were always scraping by. I worked in a factory when I was 12 years old because my father was put into a debtor's prison, and I had to make money for my family to be able to put food on the table. The theme of poverty and wealth can be seen in this play, A Christmas Carol. I wrote this production in hopes to help open the hearts of the prosperous and powerful towards the poor and powerless. Back in my day, things were more straightforward. Roles were roles, and rarely did one veer from them. Language was proper, and rarely did one step out of line without consequence. Nowadays, children are different. They do something called hang out. Some of them get around on boards with little wheels instead of carriages or horses. Telegrams have become what you call cell phones. Petticoats turn to jeans, and the ropes are on purpose. Although it's been 178 years since this play was first published, there are themes that are eternal. Kindness, taking care of one's community, ghosts that haunt yet come as gifts for our betterment, reviewing one's life to gain a better understanding of oneself, and how it is never too late for someone too old or cold to embody a joyful spirit and generous heart. I hope you enjoy this version of my play. I've always loved the opening line.
Marley was dead to begin with.
There's no doubt whatsoever about that.
The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. Marley was dead as a doornail.
Now, I don't know what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I would think a coffin nail would be a deader piece of iron, but far be it from me to change the expression.
Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for I don't know how many years.
Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and the only man who mourned him, if Scrooge could be said to have mourned at all.
And the mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point we started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from the story we are going to relate.
Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterward, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people called the business Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. But it was all the same. But he answered to both names because it was all the same thing.
Tis the season to be jolly. Dawns we now our day.
Bah! Humbug.
Christmas is a humbug, Uncle? I hope this meant as a joke.
Well, it's not. Come, what is it you want? Don't waste all day, nephew.
I only want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle. Don't be cross.
What else can I be when I live in a world of such fools as this? Merry Christmas! Out with Christmas! What is Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who went about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Leave it alone then. Much good as it may do you, much good as it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I have not profited. I dare say Christmas among the rest. And though it has never put a scrap of gold in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Bah!
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll dine alone, thank you.
But why?
Why? Why did you get married?
Why? Because I fell in love with a wonderful girl.
And I fell in love with being alone. Good afternoon.
I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so determined, but I have made the attempt to honor Christmas, and I'll keep that good spirit till the last. So a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas, Cratchit.
Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas. Oh, pardon me. Merry Christmas.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have we the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's dead. 7 years tonight. What is it you want?
Well, surely his generosity is well represented by his surviving partner.
What is it you want?
At this time of the year, it is more than usually desirable to make some slight provisions for the poor and penniless, who suffer greatly from the cold. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries, and hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons? No poorhouses?
Many, sir.
And the workhouse, is it still in operation?
It is still. I wish I could say it was not.
I'm glad to hear it. From what you said, I was afraid something had stopped its operation.
They barely provide cheer of mind and body to many people, and some of us are hoping to raise funds to buy the poor some meats and drinks, and means of warmth. We chose this time because it is a time of all others, when want is strongly felt and abundance rejoices.
May we put you down for something, sir?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I do not make merry myself at Christmas, and I cannot afford to make lazy people merry. I help support the establishments I have mentioned. That costs enough, and those who are poorly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they'd better do it and increase the surplus population. That is not my affair. My business is. Good afternoon.
At length, the hour of closing the counting house arrived.
You'll want off all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a shilling of your pay for it, you'd think yourself wronged. Yet you don't think me wrong when I pay a day's wages for no work.
But, sir, it's only once a year.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Be here all the earlier next morning.
Of course, sir. Good day, sir.
Scrooge walked towards home with a growl.
He lived in a gloomy suite of rooms that had once belonged to his deceased partner. Arriving home, he put on his dressing gown and his nightcap and sat before his fire, a very low fire indeed.
You all are idiots. I hate all of you. Now give me a raise of hands who celebrates Christmas in here. All right, you're all idiots.
Then Scrooge heard a clanky noise, as if someone were dragging a heavy chain.
And with that clinking came a low, wailing cry.
And the inspector came through his heavy door and passed into the room.
A crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than there is of grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
I must. It is commanded me. Woo!
You were chained. Tell me why.
I dragged the chain I forged in life, forged link by link. Each day when I sat in these chairs, commanded these rooms. Greed, Ebenezer Scrooge. Well, feel them, know them. Yours was as heavy as this I wear 7 years ago, and you have labored to build it since.
If you are here to lecture, I have no time for it. It is late, the night is cold. I want comfort now.
I have none to give. I know not how you see me this night. I did not ask it. I am commanded to bring you a chance, Ebenezer. Heed it.
Quickly then.
I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and a hope of escaping my fate. You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Spirits? I think not.
Then you will walk where I do, burdened by your riches, your greed.
Spirits mean nothing to me.
Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1, the second at the same hour, and the third on the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ended. Look to see me no more. I must wander. Look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
Wait, Jacob! Don't leave me! Jacob! Jacob!
Goodbye, Ebenezer.
Then the ghost of Marley faded into mist. From the emotion of the visit, or the fatigue of the day, or his glimpse of the invisible world, Scrooge went straight to bed and fell asleep on the instant.
One loud gong of the church clock.
Scrooge awoke with the first stroke of a nearby church bell.
1? It was past 2 when I went to bed. It isn't possible that I slept through a whole day and into another night.
Then Scrooge remembered the ghost's words.
Marley said, a visitation when the bell tolls 1.
Then the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them.
Who are you? Ghosts of Christmas past. Long past? No, your past. What brings you here?
Your welfare. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
I am mortal still. I cannot pass through air.
My hand?
The Christmas bells are calling, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Jolly our merry bells, la la la. The nation feels like carols, la la la.
They stood instantly upon an open country road. The darkness and mist had vanished. It was a clear, cold winter day with snow upon the ground.
I was born in this place. I was a boy here.
You remember your way?
Remember? I could walk blindfold.
Scrooge was filled with 1,000 happy memories of his boyhood. Memories of laughter and hopes and joys. At length, they came to a small boarding school. These are the shadows of the things that have been. They cannot see or hear us. See you after the holiday. Merry Christmas. See you next term. A single child is left here on this Christmas holiday. You know his name.
Poor child. Poor child.
Why poor?
Fan!
Brother, dear brother! Dear Fan! I've come to bring you home. Home for good and ever. You're never to come back here. We're to be together.
Your nephew?
Yes, my nephew, Fred.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Something, I think.
I'd just like to say a word or two to my nephew just now.
I have no time for this spirit, music, and all your other Christmas nonsense. Yes, I've learned what you have to show me.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Long we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. From the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. From the ancient Yuletide
Yo-ho there! Ebenezer! Dick!
Fezziwig! It's old Fezziwig that I apprenticed under.
Your master?
Oh, yes, and the best any boy could have. Oh, look, there's old Dick Wilson. He was very much attached to me.
Yo-ho, my boys! No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. From the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la.
Mr. Fezziwig, sir, you're a wonderful master.
A wonderful master! A wonderful master just
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la.
A wonderful master just because he gave a party? It was very small. Small? He spent 3 pounds of your mortal money. 3, 4 at most. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
But it wasn't the money. He had the power to make us happy, to make our service light or burdensome. The happiness he gives is quite as great if it had cost a fortune. That's what a good master is.
Yes?
Nothing. I was just thinking of my clerk, Bob Cratchit.
But remember, this is all in your past. Your clerk Cratchit couldn't be here.
Yes. Are we done?
My time grows short.
Again, Scrooge saw himself. He was now older, a man in prime of his life, but his drawn face already reflected his grief.
Ebenezer, do I matter so little to you, Ebenezer? Has another love taken my place?
What love?
Gold. I've seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you.
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser in the value of the pursuit of wealth, what then? I haven't changed towards you, have I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Tell me, would you still try to win me?
You think not?
I believe that you wouldn't choose a poor girl. You weigh everything by profit. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. Goodbye, Ebenezer.
Wait, Bella! I loved her. Spirit, show me no more.
One shadow more.
No, I don't wish to see it. Show me no more.
They were in another time and place, another house.
Halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la.
It's Bella! She's come back!
Who's he?
The man she married.
I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Who was it?
Mr. Scrooge, it was. As I passed his window, I couldn't help seeing him. His partner, Mr. Marley, lies at the point of death, I hear, and yet there he sat at work, alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Yes, quite alone.
Spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you, these are the shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Spirit, take me back to my rooms. I cannot bear it. Haunt me no longer.
Then I will leave.
And the other spirits?
They will come.
And you? What of you?
I am always with you.
Bells are calling, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Come now and your bells, la 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 la. Sound the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. Deck the halls with bells are calling, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la.
Scrooge was exhausted. He barely found his way back to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep.
When Scrooge awakened, he knew that the bell was again near the stroke of 1.
Now being prepared for almost anything, he was hardly prepared for nothing. Yet when the bell struck 1, no shadow appeared.
Ebenezer Scrooge, I am the ghost of Christmas present.
You have never honored my elder brothers and sisters born in earlier years, have you?
I'm afraid I haven't. Have you had many brothers and sisters?
Over 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, take me where you will. I went forth last night under compulsion, but I learned a lesson. If you have more to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
At once they stood in the streets on Christmas morning, where the people made a rough but brisk and not unpleasant music.
Deck the halls with bells of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, merry la 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 la. Don we now on a day of carols, la 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 la. Sound the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la.
Perhaps it was the pleasure the spirit had in showing off her power, or else it was her own kind nature and her sympathy with all poor men that led her straight to Scrooge's clerk, for there she went.
Outside the baker's, we smelled the goose.
Our own goose!
What can be keeping your father and Tiny Tim? And Martha wasn't as late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Martha!
Martha, there's such a goose!
Why, bless your heart, my dear. How late you are. But never mind, so long as you're here. Sit by the fire and warm yourself.
There's Father's coming!
Hi, Martha, hi!
Merry Christmas. Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Here I am, Papa.
And how did little Tim behave in church?
As good as gold and better. Somehow he gets softer, singing when tells him he thinks the strangest things that we've ever heard. Someone told me that he helped the people in church saw him because he was a cripple. It may be pleasant for us to remember on Christmas Day he made laden beggars walk from land and sea.
Gather round. Dinner's ready.
Merry Christmas, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone. Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, say he will be spared.
Why spare him? If he'd be like to die, he'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
Mr. Scrooge, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do. Poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to Mr. Scrooge. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Come.
Bells with stars are calling, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. From now on, carol, la la la. From the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. Trust in the ones with stars are calling, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Donning now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Join the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la.
Scrooge and the spirit went along the streets. The brightness of the fires and kitchens, parlors, and all sorts of rooms was wonderful.
And it was a great surprise to Scrooge to hear a familiar laugh, the laugh of his nephew.
He said that Christmas was a humbug as I lived.
More shame for him.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth. And unpleasant as he might be, but I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich. At least you're always telling me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He does not make himself or anyone else comfortable with it.
For myself, I have no patience with him.
Oh, I do. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill will? Himself, always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He loses some pleasant moments that certainly wouldn't harm him. I mean to give him the same chance every year whether he likes it or not. He may humbug Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. A long life and a happy new year to the old man, whatever he is. To Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge. Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don me now our gay apparel, la 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 la. The ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la.
The scene passed off in a breath.
My time draws near.
Our spirits' lives so short.
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight at midnight. That is near now, and you must see one thing more. Come.
Is this the last spirit who's to come to me?
They are not spirits. They are real. Hunger, ignorance. They walk your streets and look to you for comfort, and you deny them. Deny them not much longer, Scrooge. They will grow and multiply, and they will not remain children.
Have they no place to go? No resources for help?
Are there no prisons, no poorhouses? Come, it's Christmas Eve.
Are there no prisons, no poorhouses?
Are there no prisons, no poorhouses? Are there no prisons, no poorhouses?
Are there no prisons, no poorhouses?
Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Donning now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Join the ancient Yuletide carol, la la la
The bell tolled, slow and solemn.
You are the third, the last spirit that is to come to me. You are about to show me things of shadows, things that will be in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Spirit, I fear you more than any other specter I have seen, but I know your purpose is good to me. I hope to live to be another man from what I was, and I am prepared to bear your company with a thankful heart. But will you not speak to me? Lead on then.
They entered the city, the exchange district. The spirit pointed down to a small knot of merchants, and Scrooge moved closer to listen.
No, I don't know much about it. Either way, all I know is dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I thought he'd never die.
What has he done with his money?
I don't know. Hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
I'll wager it's to be a very cheap funeral. Upon my life, I don't know anybody to go to it.
I wouldn't mind going, if there's a lunch provided.
This is the exchange district, but I don't see myself among the merchants. Why, Spirit?
The phantom then led Scrooge to an obscure part of town, where Scrooge had never been before, but he recognized its ill reputation.
They came upon an unkempt woman, just as another woman, carrying a heavy bag, slung into her shop.
Rag seller, have a look at this lot. I always give too much to you. It's a weakness of mine. It's the way I ruin myself. Let's see what you've got here.
What do you call this?
Bed curtains. You don't mean to say you took him down? Rings and all with him lying there dead? Yes, I do. And why not? You were born to make your fortune, and you're certain to live to it. I won't hold back my end when I can get something in it just by reaching out. Not for the sake of men he was, I promise you.
His blankets?
Fine.
He isn't likely.
He isn't likely to take cold without him, I dare say.
Come along, I'll make your settlement.
The thieves!
Spirit, tell me who it was they spoke of. Was it the same man as the merchant's conversation?
The light tires my eyes so. It makes them tired to try to see by firelight. And I wouldn't show reddened eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be near his time now.
Past it, I think, but he walks slower than he used to these last few days, Mother.
I've known him to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed. But he was light to carry, and his father loved him, so that it was no trouble, no trouble. Smiles, everyone, smiles!
Mary, Peter, Belinda, Martha, how is it coming?
Nearly done.
Yes, good. I'm sure it'll be done long before Sunday.
Sunday? You went today then, Margaret?
Yes, it's already 2 o'clock in a nice place. Would have done you good to see how brief it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him that I'd walk there on Sunday, often.
We mustn't hurt ourselves for it, Robert.
No, he wouldn't want that. But come now, you won't guess what I've seen. Scrooge's nephew, Fred. And he asked after us, saying he was heartily sorry, and to give his respect to my good wife. How he even knew that, I don't know.
Knew what, my dear?
Why, that you were a good wife.
Everyone knows that.
Well, I hope that they do. Heartily sorry, he said, for your good wife. And if I can be of service to you in any way, then he gave me his card. That's where I live. And Peter, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he got you a position.
Only hear that, Peter.
And then you'll be keeping company with some young girl and setting up for yourself.
Go on.
Well, we'll have a day. One that day does come, as it must, we must none of us forget poor Tiny Tim and his first parting in our family.
He died? No! No!
The ghost conveyed him to a churchyard.
The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one.
Before I draw near to the stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or the shadows of the things that may be only?
Scrooge read the name upon the stone.
Ebenezer Scrooge! No! Spirit, why show me this if I am past all hope? Good Spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I may change these shadows by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, present, and future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach. Oh, tell me, may I smudge away the writing on this stone?
When Scrooge awoke, the bed was his own, the room was his own, and best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own to make amends in.
The curtains! They're here! They're real! They're not sold! I'm here. The shadows of the things that may have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel, as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas to everyone! Wait, I don't even know what day it is. How long have I been among the spirits? I don't know anything.
Running to his window, Scrooge looked out and saw a girl in her Sunday clothes.
What day is it today?
What, sir?
What day is it today, my fine girl?
Today? Why, Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day! It's Christmas Day! I haven't missed it! The spirits have done it all in one night! Of course they can do whatever they like! I haven't missed it! It's Christmas Day.
Do you know the butcher shop?
Do you know the butcher shop around the corner?
I should hope so.
Have they sold the prize turkey, the big one?
It's hanging there now.
Then tell your girl. Go and buy it!
Pardon?
Go and buy it! Tell them to bring it here and I'll tell them where to deliver it. Bring the butcher back and I'll give you a shilling. Bring him back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
Yes, sir.
I'll bring it to Bob Cratchit's. He'll never guess who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. I must dress. I must. It's Christmas Day. I must be in my best.
Scrooge dressed himself in his best.
The girl, the turkey, and the butcher were back in something less than 5 minutes, were paid and paid for, and sent off to Bob Cratchit's in a cab hired by Mr. Scrooge.
The people by this time were pouring forth, and Scrooge met everyone with a delighted smile and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Smells of holly, fa la 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 la.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! succeeded yesterday.
Mr. Scrooge?
I beg your pardon for my behavior in the shop yesterday. Would you be so kind to put me down for?
Lord bless me, Mr. Scrooge. Are you sure you want to donate that much?
Not a penny less. And I assure you, a good many back payments are included in it.
God bless you, Mr. Scrooge.
God bless you, Mr. Scrooge.
And a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year to you.
In the afternoon, he turned towards his nephew's house. He approached the door a dozen times, it seemed, before he had the courage to go up and knock. But he made a dash and did it.
Yes? Uncle Scrooge!
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! I'll accept your hospitality if you'll still have me. Will you let me in?
Yes, yes, of course. Welcome.
Mr. Scrooge felt at home in 5 minutes. It was a wonderful party with wonderful games and wonderful happiness. Mr. Scrooge was the happiest of all.
The walls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la.
To a long life and a Happy New Year.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
With boughs of holly, la 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Dawning now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Join the ancient Yuletide carols, la 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 la. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la la.
The next morning, Scrooge went into the office early, hoping to catch Bob Cratchit coming in late.
The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. Bob was a full 18 and a half minutes behind his time when he crept in, his hat already on, and started away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
Scrooge growled to him in the best imitation he could manage of his former gruff voice.
What do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Yes, you are.
It's only but once a year, sir. It won't be repeated. We're making rather merry-ish day.
You know I won't hear for this sort of thing again, my friend. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I am raising your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. The best I have ever given you. I am going to help your struggling family and find the best surgeons for Tiny Tim. We will discuss your affairs over a hot tub of Christmas punch. Come with me now, Bob Cratchit.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Join the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father.
Scrooge became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as that old city knew.
And it was always said of Scrooge that he knew how to live with generosity and compassion for others.
May that truly be said of us and all of us, that we may each live our lives with full hearts and take nothing for granted.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la la